All right, let's jump right in. Today, we're looking at a huge shift: how a technology once built for Silicon Valley is now showing up on your local Main Street, changing the game for small businesses. So, let me ask you something. When you hear the term AI, what's the first thing that pops into your head? For most of us, it's probably giant data centers, maybe some futuristic self driving cars, stuff built by massive tech companies.
I'm willing to bet you're not picturing the guy who fixes your car, or the HVAC company that comes out when your AC breaks, or even that new med spa that just opened up down the road.
Well, that assumption is officially out of date because that is all changing, and it's happening incredibly fast. AI is not just for the big guys anymore. This idea is captured perfectly by Liam Golightly from Podium. He said, people assume AI is for big tech, but local businesses need it more than anybody, and they're seeing the biggest impact. And that one idea right there is what this is all about.
So, to really understand why, we have to start with a huge problem, a problem that pretty much every local business faces: the high cost of silence. We're talking about what happens when a customer reaches out and nobody answers. Now, check out this number. It's staggering, really. 40%. 40% of all customer inquiries, all those calls and texts, they happen when no one's around to pick up. Think after hours, weekends, even during a lunch break. For a small shop, that is a ton of business just disappearing. And here's the kicker: the gap between what customers expect and what they get is massive. To really lock in a new customer, you need to respond in under 2 minutes. But for a typical small business owner who's juggling a million things, the average response is over 2 hours. And by then, that customer is long gone. And look, this isn't just a number on a chart. It's a real-life struggle. There's this story about a med spa owner who would literally take her business phone into the shower with her. Why? Because she knew that just one missed call could mean losing out on an appointment worth thousands of dollars. That's the pressure these owners are under. So what's the solution here? It's not about working 24/7 or never sleeping again. It's about hiring a totally new kind of teammate, one that takes all those missed calls and turns them into actual paying jobs on the calendar. Let me introduce you to Jerry. Now, Jerry isn't a person. It's a conversational AI agent, but business owners are treating it like their star employee. It works around the clock, capturing leads, booking appointments, and even sending follow-ups, making sure no customer ever falls through the cracks again. And get this, the conversations are so natural, so helpful, that customers have literally walked into a business and asked to speak with Jerry, having absolutely no idea they were just chatting with an AI. Now, you're probably thinking this must be super complicated to set up, right? But it's actually designed to be incredibly simple. First, a business starts with a baseline model made for their specific industry. Then, they tune it with their own unique voice and sales strategies. And finally, the whole system is constantly being checked, not just for accuracy, but for what really counts, turning those conversations into paying customers. This quote from Walker Ward at Podium just nails it. An HVAC owner can just give a simple command, something like, hey, pitch your maintenance plan on any repair that costs more than $1,000. That's not configuring software, that's just managing a super efficient employee.
Okay, this all sounds great. The technology is cool, but what about the results? Let's talk about the actual real-world impact this is having on the bottom line.
First of all, this is not a tiny experiment. We're talking about more than 10,000 local businesses that are already using these AI agents. This is a full-blown revolution happening right now on Main Street. And the numbers, well, they speak for themselves. On average, these businesses are seeing a 45% increase in converting leads into customers, and that flows directly into revenue, with an average bump of around 30%. That's huge. And we're not just talking averages. The individual wins are incredible. An auto group saw its after-hours bookings shoot up by 80%. An HVAC shop down in Texas booked 15 extra emergency repair jobs in a single month, jobs that would have just been missed calls before. All told, these AI agents are influencing billions in revenue every single year. But here's the final twist in this story, and it's a fascinating one. We always hear that narrative about AI taking jobs, right? Well, in this case, we're actually seeing the opposite happen. It's helping to create a whole new kind of workforce. Suddenly, new roles are popping up. We're seeing jobs like AI operations lead, someone whose whole job is to manage and train the AI. Call centers are being transformed, and customer experience specialists are now freed up to handle more complex issues instead of just booking appointments. And that leaves us with one last, really interesting question to think about. As this tech becomes completely essential for local businesses, could AI operator actually become the next hot job on Main Street? It's a sign that the future of work might look a lot more collaborative and a lot more interesting than any of us expected.